Hello everyone, JinLair here, back with game 3. We're going to send in Magnath now. In the bottom left, representing We Want BBQ, it is FlreBird. In the top right, representing JinLair PinkWings, it is Magnath. If anyone knows about these two teams, please tell me. I've seen this team quite a bit, PT Hero, but I've never seen it in CTL. Or for any team, other team league for that matter. Oh, this guy is Protoss. Wait, did he go random? Oh, wait, no. Nope. I was looking at Magnath. I'm an idiot. Scout for a proxy. Not the perfect rally. He could have had pylon built here. Yeah, against Protoss, this isn't necessarily the best. You want to check every little nook and cranny. I mean, for the most part, no Protoss is going to be building the proxy like right here. They're going to be They always build it on little little nooks and crannies here. And for the most part, the most common one is over here. If you're going to build like Robo for War Prism or Stargate, you pretty much always have your guys like right here. This guy's in the probe here. Would have loved to have seen him attack that SCV and just be a bit of a nuisance, but I guess he probably didn't want to because the Reaper does have a Reaper wall off here. It looks kind of like he can squeeze a unit through there, but I don't think so. Chrono on the first Adept. Does have an extra Chrono, but he's not using it on the Warp Gate yet. Twilight. My guess is that that's probably a bait to make his opponent think he's going Twilight because he saw the Reaper before he put the Twilight down. So I assume we're going to see it cancel, but if not, that's still fine. I mean, that is like something you kind of only see at like Master or above. You can see it. Oh boy, dude. Oh, this is cringy. There we go. Thank you. Yeah, never rally into your gas unless you're paying full attention to it. Clicked barely off there. Oh, please notice, please notice. There we go. Just gonna send an Adept in for a little bit of scouting. And we're gonna see Hellions here. It doesn't look like he's seen it. Not quite gonna grab the mule. He could have shaded out there. I didn't realize Hellions actually did that much damage against the depths. He's going for a very quick blink, but he doesn't have any extra gateways. Like, he's floating quite a few minerals. There we go. Like, there's no point going blink if you're just gonna be on one gateway. Yeah, this is definitely a poor mistake. He currently just threw away 2 units for 1 Hellion. That definitely wasn't worth it, especially since you're only on 1 gate and you're not even warping in any units here. Like, if he just moved across the map now and didn't actually wait for additional Hellions, it's 15 army supply to 2. I don't even know what that 2 army supply is in. Okay, single stalker here. He's got a Robo as well. Oh, man. There we go. He's going to go for a 3rd here. I'm kind of confused by this build order. It looks like a standard build order, but the problem is that he's going to have Blink very early, but he's going to have 2 2 to like 4 stalkers by the time he has blink. Also, just waiting here with Hellion is definitely a bad idea. Looks like he might go for Hellion drop, which might be why he doesn't want to throw the Hellions away from nothing. I don't think he's seen the wall off, though, and if he hasn't seen the wall off, he should just run in. So that doesn't really make any sense. And yep, 3 Hellion drop. I would like to see him move a single Hellion into that medevac. They're very fast, they can get there before the medevac drops and not really waste any time. Third base on location. Got double barracks coming up. And medevac into Banshee. This is something that in TVZ definitely wouldn't do anything. You would always have spores at that point, but in TVP, if your observers aren't in the right spot, it can do something. He's gonna recall his stalkers, and yeah, he's just gonna move away. And this is what I'm talking about. You go early blink to help defending his drops, but that's pointless if you don't have any stalkers. You also can't saturate the main base either. Like, he can't have stalkers in the main and the third base to defend. Luckily, FlreBird left his units there, and the observer spotted it. That's definitely a mistake that Magnath needed, because so far Magnath is actually decently far behind. He got quite a few workers. He's not able to comfortably mine on the third and defend the main. He doesn't have an observer at home, so I don't think this Banshee's going to do anything. Yep, 1 sec. Alright, I'm back. So it's gonna look like a bit of a Heart of Swarm build. Stalker, Colossus. Okay. Carbot, you've done this way too much, buddy. I didn't even see an observer in range here. There's one that just popped, but it wasn't there quite yet. He's got more Hellions as well. They at least scout the Colossus, that's something, but I think the biggest thing that FlreBird did that was just a big mistake was going medevac into Cloak Banshee. Like, a Cloak Banshee that's that late is pretty much never going to do anything. In fact, it did a lot more damage than it really should have, because his opponent went pretty greedy and didn't make that many units like at all. He's got Widow Mines and tanks, which is a little weird. It's probably because, yeah, he probably was planning on going Widow Mines, but then realized his opponent was making quite a few observers. Oh my god. Just at a scan radius, and then he moves his observer in. Yeah, and he's got just enough units. I don't think he has charge, but even if he doesn't, it wouldn't, like, with or without charge, he defends this easily. His opponent just doesn't have enough bio. I think the biggest mistake his opponent made was that he went into Cloak Banshees, where he could have just built a reactor on the starport, get 2 medevacs a lot quicker than he did, and also he's still on 3 barracks and is making 2 more now. This is the 8-minute mark. 8-minute mark, 3 racks. That's so little bio. Like, look at the bio count. Like, there's more stalkers than there are marines. And he's also gotten rid of a lot of them. He's got a third base, so it's not dead yet, but I mean, let's take a look at the supply. I mean, it's exactly equal supply, which is really surprising. His opponent has more workers. I'm surprised Magnath's not confident, because if he realized, like, if you kill an army mid-map like that and you don't lose almost anything, you should just aim, move, and not pull back. Scans on his army to see if there's any observer. This makes sense to some extent, because this is the area you would send an observer. But personally, it's better when you have full vision to just go like this, because then you'll end up seeing an observer. And I was just going to send stalkers to look to do some, I guess, blink damage. But 2 things. First of all, if you're just going to, like, walk them up and try to poke in, Liberator and tanks stop that really well. And if you're going to blink in and sacrifice the stalkers for, like, Liberators and tanks, then this is kind of too many to do that. Like, this is a lot of guys to sacrifice. And also, you're using just Zealots and Colossus, and that's it to defend drops. So you have no anti-air against drops. And again, he's not making any stalkers. He's sacrificing all of his stalkers, and he's not making any stalkers. And those stalkers are more valuable than the zealots currently. Like, if he had stalkers instead of these zealots back at home, this drop would have done nothing. His opponent's not making any army. I feel like both players aren't macroing the best. His opponent actually doesn't have any medevacs. He's got an observer here. Hasn't put in an observer mode though. It's a bit of a misplay. Probably just forgot about it. And he's gonna push in here. He's got one medevac now, but I mean one medevac, that's not really useful. He's gonna build another SC command center on location. I'm a little confused. Why would you build it on location and build one not on location unless you're planning on this just being an orbital and having extra scans? He's getting Ghost Academy and Cybercore. So Magnath really needs to attack. I feel like Magnath, he's playing the mid game, he's not playing for long game, and he really needs to push the issue. Structure Shot was kind of going nowhere. He's like, okay, let me just make it sure it's not going to hit my own units. And yeah, he was going a lot on tech, not much on units, and I think both players were actually not making too many units at one point, but Magnath was making just a little bit more at a crucial time. So even though he sacrificed those stalkers for nothing, and I think both players played pretty poor this game, Magnath is going to come through with the victory. And honestly, I think the biggest problem this game was that cost FlreBird the game was going Cloak Banshee afterwards. Like, Cloak Banshee that late is never going to do anything unless your opponent's playing pretty sloppy. Like, it killed, like, the Cloak Banshee killed, like, what, like 9 workers? But at that point, you know, the opponent's just making 3 probes at a time. One Banshee, you know, even if it gets a bunch of probe kills, it's not going to be enough to really put you in a good lead. It would just be better to get reactor quicker, start up your next 2 barracks, and just get your mid-game production going. Because he never even had mid-game production. He was on 3 racks for, like, what, 10 minutes? Like, what the heck was that about? That was so late. He must have just forgotten and not realized. He's like, he must have been like, why do I have so little bio? Oh. But that'll do it for game 3. They're gonna have 1 revive from what I've heard. Question is, will it be Teach or will it be FlreBird? Teach is a decently solid player, but honestly, I could go either way on this one. So we'll see you in the next video.